Really?
So if you're distracted for the next
So
5-10
you're
minutes, we
just
know why.
looking off in the distance.
Well, no, I'm looking at my window and these three blondes are walking. I'm like, what the hell? But they got practically nothing on, like a bathing suit,
Oh,
like a
okay.
bikini. I should say bathing suit, like a bikini. I'm just like, what the hell? It's like one after the
That's
other.
not. He's like, what? No.
Rough
Well, I'm
life. Are you sure you want to make sure they're
life.
okay? You want to make sure they didn't trip and fall or anything? You want?
Well, no, I can see that from my window.
Okay.
But I was thinking about changing locations and where I do the podcast from.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look out the window and be distracted the whole time?
Well, no, I was going to sit outside and do it.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Right up front.
Because you never know. If they do trip and fall, I'm bringing the camera with me. I want you to see how heroic I am going over and helping a young lady in distress.
Oh, so nice of you.
Man, such a hero.
I try.
Look at you. Just an Avenger.
You know.
Lindsay, can you run back and forth on screen for a little bit? Get his attention back on this show?
I mean, yeah, I'll do what I have to get focused on this show.
Don't say that. Don't say that. They'll make you pay for that one.
I'll make you pay. It's like that schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember that.
We actually could place another bet later on today. We'll get to that. One of your raw talents is going to be on a national televised competition. So maybe we'll see how well he does. We'll also talk, a workplace hazard that I encountered a couple of days ago. That something that will be forever burned and etched into my skull. We'll cover all of that. First and foremost, though, rescheduled from last week, he will be defending his U.S. championship against Sheamus. That will be at Extreme Rules coming up September 26th, Sunday, September 26th. He is the Archer of Infamy. Please, everybody, get your questions and your comments ready for the one and only Damian Priest. Damian, welcome.
Damian.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Thank you for being on the show, my man.
I'm glad I made it.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we got past it. Just like we all do on the road. We do it and it happens, and we just hate it when it happens because then it delays everything for us.
Yeah, I'm a pretty punctual person, and I like committing to what I said I was going to do. So it killed me to like not be able to do it. I know things happen, but still, I hate when it's on me. It's just a personal thing with me. Like I hate not committing to or being able to perform what I said I was going to do.
Listen, if I was to tell you how many times in the 30 years that I've been in this business and how many times that has happened to me, it got to the point where Bubba's like, God damn it, Devon, get your shit together. and I couldn't get mad with him because he was right.
Fair enough.
That was the first time I never could get mad at him.
First time.
Very true. Very true. Dylan says he remembers your Punishment Martinez days, the Monster Factory days, which I'm sure we'll cover the Monster Factory here in a little bit. Sierra also wants to say that your last match was awesome.
Thank you.
I gotta say, you've been surrounded by some pretty impressive company lately. You were around a lot of Raw headliners. How does that feel?
It's weird, awesome, exciting, petrifying, all of it. But I appreciate the comments and everybody saying how good it was. It's kind of hard not to have good matches with the talent that I get to work with, you know? Mm-hmm. So as much as I appreciate the praises, they make my life easy, man. Like they make everything easy. So, you know, they deserve the praise as well.
Well, you deserve that praise as well, Damian. I mean, don't sell yourself short. Listen, I've watched those matches, and yes, Sheamus is a hell of a worker, you know, and it's almost like that saying they used to say back in the business: if you have a bad match with Steamboat, that means you just sucked. And you know, I don't know if Sheamus could be on that category because Sheamus can bring it out of you.
Yes,
Sheamus brings it out of a lot of talent when he's in the ring, and you better be ready to go. And you were ready to go. I mean, I knew that before you stepped in the ring with him. And watching that match this past Monday night was incredible. How you guys had the people eating out of the palm of your hands with the false finishes. That's when you know you're doing your job.
Yeah, that was a cool feeling. And I'll be honest, Sheamus is definitely one of those guys. But it's not that he brings out your best. He's got to bring out that gritty, you know, tough side of people, you know. Now, for me, it doesn't take much to get it out. Like, you don't have to just let me know what you want to do. Tell me the rules of what's about to happen, and I'm good with it. But yeah, the seconds into a match with Sheamus, but it's cool to. I also like seeing like the way he is with other guys. Like when he was feuding with Umberto and Ricochet, and like seeing them do that. Because I don't think people expect them to be the tough guys. They're so good at what they do. So, but Sheamus makes it like he just pulls it out of people. He makes them do it, which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one thing about Sheamus I love.
And I it's completely off topic, but I'm a little distracted by your shirt. What's on your shirt there, Damian?
Oh, it's Heath Ledger. This is
Oh,
I would have guessed right. Excellent.
I like that.
Well, you wear a lot of shirts, not with people's faces, but you wear a lot of those cool shirts, man. I love those shirts. I love you. You got to see when he comes to the arenas dressed up. I'm like, brother, is Dr. Style. I mean, it's really cool, the fashion that he wears, and it's great because I've always said when a person walks into the room, they turn heads because there's somebody. When this man walks into a room, there's no doubt he turns heads because listen, I'm not just putting no, Damian, hear me out. I'm not just putting you on. I'm not just putting you out there, but you're a big, impressive guy, and a lot of guys in this business. Listen, at the time when my 10-year-old son would be like, "Yeah, I can kick his ass, Dad." Well, not he would say ass, but he said, "I kick his ass," and I'm like, "Oh, you can," because today's wrestlers, a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them don't look like wrestlers. They look like somebody that should be still in school, in high school. Damian doesn't look like that. Damian freaking
That's
looks
not nice
like.
to say about Rey Mysterio. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, and it just looks like, when Damian, he has that look to him. He has that physique, and he looks like a wrestler. He looks like somebody who's of importance, and you have to dress that way as well. You have to dress to impress, and Damian, you do that, my brother.
I appreciate that, and always looking the part. That was something I learned early on, but it was something I also believed in. If you want to be a star, you can't look like your neighbor. You can't look like everybody else. I guess that you have to show something else, something more, where people look at you and say, "Oh, I wish I was like that," or "I wish I could dress like that," because it's like something you should only be able to see on TV. I don't know. I just always kept that type of mentality. And then the style of the shirts, like you're saying, some of the shirts I wear, I'll be honest, the idea, I just made it more modern to today, 2021. But the idea came from watching The Rock, like the way he would show up in the 90s with those $500 shirts. But that's actually where I got the idea of wearing these loud type of clothes, but they look good and again, modern. That's where I got that idea. It was like, man, he looks so cool. I remember thinking how cool he looked.
Yeah.
Who dressed like that? Nobody except for him. Mm-hmm. So I did that. And I hear in the locker room where everybody's like, "Oh man, where do you get your shirts?" And I'm like, "I'm not telling you."
Has Seth Rollins approached you? Because he likes to promote his drip,
Yeah, no, he's on SmackDown, so we don't really see each other, but the other drip guy, Morrison, one time was like, "We should shop for shirts together." And I was like, I don't know about all that, but.
Well, listen, when the show is over, because I know you don't want to tell your secrets, but when the show is over, remember, I'm not wrestling anymore. I'm just a producer. And I promise I won't wear the shirts at work. But you and I need to go. You pick me out some shirts and we good to go.
All right, I might give you a little info.
Tell him the wrong place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or actually tell him where you get it from. I could see Devon be like, "Whoa, that's way too much money. That's out of my price range. You damn kids and your shirts."
Yeah.
Well, whether it's that or just clicking on the site or going to the store and then saying, "Oh, I can't be seen here." And some of the stuff I get, including some of the stuff I wear in my gear, it's usually like I'll go to like a stripper store or something. Like my closet literally looks like an escort or like that type of adult entertainment, because it's just ridiculous the outfits that I haven't even worn yet.
Devon frequents those places, so that's fine.
The funny part about it was the Hardys and Lita used to do that. They used to dress in those stores like that. I used to see that all the time. I used to ask Matt and Lita, "Where the hell you get your clothes from?" And they said, "Well," Matt told me, he goes, "Well, Jeff went and bought this at a strip club." I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Same thing.
At a strip club. I was like, "What?" Because it was just the material and how it's put together and the lace. So you can't get that at a regular store. So sometimes you got to go out. And again, with people being online and looking up stuff like that, where do you find a shirt like that? And it'll say strip clubs. It'll say S&M store. It'll say all of that.
Yeah, it's odd, at first, to say the least, shopping. But now I'm at the point like I don't care, whatever, like that'll look good on me, or that'll turn somebody's head or whatever. So, as long as I'm not embarrassed by it, I don't care. I'll, which is very few things embarrass me nowadays anyway. I mean, we wrestled half naked anyway, so.
Okay, so you gotta. Where's the line then? Like, what wouldn't you wear? Like assless chaps? Is that on the list? Not. I mean, what's the line?
No, that's definitely on the list.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So then cheeks.
Okay.
I would
Lindsay's
definitely
all
wear
right
them.
with that.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. I'm just listening. I continue. This is great.
You know what? You guys warned me before the show started about like this is not your typical, type of interview. Yeah.
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 We're talking about ass
Surprise.
chaps and all of
Yeah.
that, and where you get your clothes.
A few minutes in, and I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, our
We're different,
philosophy
yeah.
is we're table talk. We're not serious. We just table talk. That's
Yeah.
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like
That's
it.
it, man. So, Damian, what made you get into professional wrestling, and how did you get in?
Well, I shouldn't say most because nowadays anybody could, like you could get signed for whatever reason. But for me, I was a fan when I was a kid. I grew up in Puerto Rico, and obviously in Puerto Rico, wrestling's really big. So for me, at first, I was a fan as a kid because all my friends were fans, and everybody had action figures and whatever. So to me, it was cool to participate with my friends, and I tell my parents to buy me, my mom, buy me this figure, and that's cool. I wasn't really like into it, so to speak, like my friends were. So I didn't even know who some of the figures were, and I would try to watch it. I knew it was on. Till one day I was watching, and it was an episode that had the funeral parlor on it, and the Undertaker stuffed Warrior into a coffin and then locked it, and they weren't sure if he could breathe or not. And I remember it was in English and in Spanish on two different channels at the same time. So I'm showing my mom, like, look, it's in two different channels. And I'm switching back and forth. And she yelled at me, stop changing the channel, pick one, because she wanted to see what was going on. So now I'm mad watching it because I'm just, I'm a kid. So I'm just, playing, and then she's telling me to stop because now she's intrigued. But then because I actually started focusing, then I got intrigued. And I remember just falling in love with the idea of how emotionally invested I got. And that moment, it was like, I want to make somebody feel that way one day, like that's really what got me. And crazy, it had nothing to do with wrestling. It was maybe the Ultimate Warrior dies or he doesn't. Like literally, that was what made me fall in love with professional wrestling. Is the Undertaker gonna kill somebody on TV? And I still, I love the growing up. Then you mature. Then now I appreciate the in ring, and I love the in ring, and I strive to be really good at it, and I work on it all the time. But it's still not my favorite part of our business. It's getting emotion, like and making people feel something, and whether it's in ring or not, it's just that's the goal, right? So that moment changed my life, where I was like, has to be what I wanted. Like I need to make people feel some type of way, and I love the idea of being like a superhero, and that's how I kind of knew what I wanted to do. Then you're in high school and you're still a fan and love the Attitude Era, and me and my friends would always joke about, hey, we're gonna be wrestlers one day. There's gonna be what we do with our lives. And I remember me and my best friend back, in high school, like he's a musician, and even then he'd be like, yo, you're going to wrestle and I'm going to play you to the ring one day. And, in NXT, Halloween Havoc, he played me to the ring.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
And that was like one of those things where we looked at each other and we were like, who else gets to say that the dream, you were kids and you started as a joke. We actually did it. And I don't know. Yeah. To me, like that was one of the coolest moments of my entire career, it was just my entrance. It was just having my best friend play me to the ring. It was such a cool moment for me. But that's how I got into it. And then I remember because I used to fight. I did martial arts growing up. My father was my instructor, and we closed down the school and I stopped practicing. And it was just young. I was like 20 and I didn't know what I was going to do. And then one day it was same friend was like, hey, why don't we do that wrestling thing we used to always talk about? And I had no idea. Like, to me, wrestling was WWE. I mean, I knew there was an ECW, WCW, but I didn't know like how to go about it. I didn't know anything about indies. I didn't know any of that. So I even told him, I was like, what do we do? We just show up and just knock on the door and be like, hey, we want to wrestle? Like, what? And he was like, no, stupid. You got to go to a school. You got to learn. You got to train. And I was like, where are those? Like, there's one here. I mean, he goes, it's a few hours from here. It's in South Jersey called the Monster Factory. He goes, and a bunch of guys from there came, like Raven trained there and Big Show. And, it was just a list of people that were from there, the Godfather and others that, like, he just named the people that he knew I was a fan of. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. And I went. The owner at the time was Larry Sharp. I met him and paid my money, and the rest is history. Started training.
So Larry was still there when you went.
Yes. Yeah.
And when did he leave? Because this is recent, right? Not recent, but a couple of years ago.
So I started training at the end of 2003, and he was there for like another year maybe, and then he got sick, so he left. And the people in charge were Ed Atlas and Jim Molyneux, who was a referee back in the day with ECW.
Jim Molyneux,
yeah, he was one of my trainers. Wow. So I started there with them, and then I stayed with them for a while, and then till they the Monster Factory became like different things, and then Larry got back in the picture, and then he kind of passed it on to Danny Cage, who's the owner now. And then by that point, it was more of, now I'm 8-10 years in. So then it was like, hey, come by and help out, like I continue training, obviously, but also help out new guys. And I enjoyed that actually a lot. Once, Danny Cage took over, and, I had a place to work on my own stuff and also help people, and train people. That's when Riddle came in, I was one of his coaches, and that was a cool experience. And that's how we became really close friends, was back then. Plus we had the fighting background to, to kind of feed off each other.
I didn't know that. I thought Riddle came out of UFC and just decided to do the wrestling.
Yeah. So he fought first. And then when that was over, when he wanted to do the wrestling, he ended up coming to the Monster Factory to train. And
that was back then, 2000.
No, this was recent. This was recent.
Oh,
okay. So this was in 2014 or 2015 that Riddle came in. But I already had been wrestling for a while. I was in Ring of Honor at the time when he came, or starting to do things here and there with Ring of Honor. And it was me. Blue Meanie was there. Obviously, Danny Cage, the owner, was there. QT Marshall, who's another one of the coaches. Jersey Mike.
QT Marshall, don't you?
Yes, I do. I know him very well.
And we also, back in the day, we also trained together at the factory in like 2005 before he joined your school.
Okay.
So what Damian is saying is DDA needs to watch out, because DPA, the Damian Priest Academy, is coming for you.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
That's what he's saying.
But there is something there.
He's got his hands filled with Vince McMahon right now, so I don't have anything to worry about until he's done.
But I'll be honest, I did find a love for helping people at the factory, because I never considered myself, everybody says I train people, I coach people. I helped people, alongside other coaches, because I don't put myself in that category. But it made me find a fondness for that. And at some point, whenever the day comes that I'm done, I would love to transition to like a coach or something, because I have to stay in the business somehow. Like, I love what I do. I love everything about this business. So that's definitely something that I enjoyed. I really did enjoy helping and feeling that, and I'm sure you feel it too, Devon, with that feeling of creation, and I've had talks with Hunter about that too in my time in NXT. So that's definitely something in the future that I hope to do.
Well, I definitely, my thing was going from, while I was still active, opening up the wrestling school with Bubba. And then he went his way a couple of years ago, and then I went my way. So now I have the school, DDA, and he's running one in Connecticut. And it was just like you said, you want to give back, you want to help out as much as possible. And I feel that that's what we do at DDA in Florida.
And it's
like to help out.
Yeah, and the feeling is so good. Like when you see somebody do anything that you kind of help them, I don't know, it's just, that feeling is cool. So I look forward to that when the time comes.
Like I actually thought that when I was done wrestling, that maybe I would be a coach at NXT. I had no idea, no plans whatsoever to become a producer. I was like, no effing way would I do that. I know the stress behind that. I don't want to be a part of that at all. And I'm a
And
producer
now
now.
look at you.
On a different note, I was going to ask about the nickname the Archer of Infamy and ask if you actually are into archery, but judging by your background of weapons, I'm going to assume there is some basis of archery in of the name.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I get that all the time. They're like, "Are you actually like into it?" And like, yes, but like the name itself, it's not meant to be like I'm gonna go around shooting people with an arrow.
You should.
That would be.
I mean, it would make
cool.
my matches a lot easier.
Yeah.
But the idea came from, like, and same thing with like the slogan, like the live forever thing, which is about my name. Like I want to accomplish so much that my name lives on, like it lives forever. People remember me. Like that means that you lived a life of important, like you became something that's somewhat important. And that's real. I really strive for that. I want people to remember me. And then the archery thing was in my mind, I'm like, what has legit lasted and has stood the test of time? Like anything from like the beginning of time, when you think about it in books or even in movies, how did people eat and hunt or defend themselves? Archery was involved. Anything post-apocalyptic, whether it's a book or a movie, archery is involved. And it's like, it's something that's forever, it seems. And that's where that idea came from. And then also like the idea of the superheroes that practice archery, where it's like, there's superheroes with all types of powers and all types of gadgets. And then you have like Hawkeye and the Green Arrow. And these guys are just a bow and arrow, and that idea combined with my way of living infamy, Archer of Infamy. That's legit how I came up with the
That's
name.
really cool.
Combining things that I love
Yeah.
and that are meaningful and so it means something to me.
I love it. And of course, you see our names. We're all celebrating your
I
nickname.
saw that right away. It's
Having
cool.
some fun with it. And I thought I would reimagine what Devon could be with that sort of gimmick.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Well, yeah, because I think everybody needs to see this.
Of course you did. Mm-hmm.
The
That's
Archer of
amazing.
Deadly.
Oh, it's so cute.
Oh, shut up,
This
Lindsay.
little Peter Pan.
Is this as
Dudley.
stylish as you are, Damian, or has this still got a ways to go?
I feel like that's a whole nother level.
Oh.
What is happening?
A
I love
completely
it.
whole nother level. I can
I
see
mean,
that right now.
I love that you still have, your wrist tape and everything,
Look
like
at that.
Can't let it slip, Can't let it slip.
No.
no,
It was
the
like
hat,
little Robin Hood.
the hat's what
Is
does
that
it
what you
for
are?
me.
I like
Yeah.
to let you slip, Mo.
I think you may have to dress up like this.
I
the next
think I
time you
need
lose
that
a
on.
bet.
I need that on my next
I'll
coffee
tell you
nugget,
what.
but
If the next bet that me and Lindsay lose, the next bet that me and Lindsay
that
make,
you lose,
that me and Lindsay make,
that you lose.
if I will say I will get that outfit and wear it on the show.
I'll lend you one of my bows so you can walk around with.
Nice.
Oh God, damn
I want to help, man. So good.
Oh my
Some
god.
people loving it, some people defending you, Devon. I love this here. Dylan says you're going to have to wrestle Stephen Amell to prove who the real Archer is.
I'd watch that.
I would enjoy it. I was a big fan of the show Arrow, so I would totally be up for that.
Have you checked out Heels at all?
I haven't yet. It's on my list, but I have not watched it yet. I could only imagine it's got to be good. He's a big wrestling fan, so I would think that it coming from somebody who's true to like loving this business, making a show about it, and with the friends he has, I'm sure he's going to do our business justice. I'm looking forward to that show.
Well, damn, I'm just mad. If he's a big fan, I should have been on the damn show. Damn. Shit, I got kids. I'm like the real Heath Slater. I got kids.
That was one of my favorite things, man.
That was a good gimmick. Taboy wants to know, how did it feel pinning former WWE champion Drew McIntyre?
It always feels good to win a match, but no, sometimes I can't speak for everybody else, but I am very self-aware of everything that happens, so I knew how important that was. Like, I know it's a big deal. Like, Drew McIntyre, him losing is not a thing, like, not common. So, and he's on a different level. So I know what that means to me, to where I'm going, like the build and like the moment, everything about it. Like, I get it. And him being such a pro about everything and the moment after, that was special. And I like, it goes without saying, like, I know how special that was, and I do not take that lightly. And it was really cool. Like, that was one of those that I try not to think too much about what I do. I try to think about what's next, because if not, too many emotions might get the better of me. That was one that I had to sit back and appreciate.
I mean, on that note, before we have to let you go here, because we're already starting to run out of time, but I wanted to ask about Bad Bunny. And obviously, I'm sure a lot of people have asked about how it was working with him. But I want to look at the angle that you weren't in NXT very long before you were moved up to the main roster. And not long after that, you had, dare I say, the responsibility of really helping Bad Bunny, to WrestleMania and to help with the training, the Miz and all of the Morrison. What goes through your mind when they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, one of the biggest musicians in the world, you're going to be partnered with him?
No big deal.
So yeah, no big deal. So first, and I've said this a few times, but it's just so funny because it really happened so I'm in NXT. First of all, I just not too long before this found out that my time in NXT was coming up, and which I was like, oh, and then I'm pretty sure Harno was the one. Hey, so you're gonna be working with Bad Bunny, like you're gonna be working a program with Bad Bunny. In my head, I was like, how are you just going to name a wrestler Bad Bunny when there's like a Bad Bunny? Like, this is a big deal. So I was like, what wrestler is going to be named Bad Bunny? Like, what? And then he's like, no, that is the Bad Bunny. It's the musician. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Because he's a big deal. Like, I know he was a big deal, So I was like, oh, man. But yes, there was that like, oh, wow. But this is like a really big deal. Like, I'm the one that got chose to work, side by side with him, and I'm going to help train him and do all this stuff. And it was kind of like one of those things where, oh man, if I mess up, I'm screwed, huh? Like, nobody needs to tell me that. Like, I get it. So, but he made it so easy. He really did. Bad Bunny, number one, like everybody's heard that he's a fan, but put it this way. Like when we first met, he's telling me all the moves that I do. Like, to me, I'm nothing, man. I ain't shit. Like, I just got here. And he's like, oh, I love when you do that choke slam. And I'm like, wait, you're like a legit fan, huh? And he's like, yeah, I love this. And I was like, oh, and then his first question, and Devon, you'll appreciate this. First day we met too. He was like, hey, so we go by the ring. Like, we're there for him. And he was like, hey, I want to get in the ring, but like, is there a way I should get in the ring? Should anything I should do? Should I ask anybody? Like, I don't want to disrespect anyone. As soon as he said that, I smiled and I was like, you're going to be okay here.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, go right ahead. Wipe your damn feet. And he did. And
that is rule number one.
He never, ever forgot to wipe his feet before he got in the ring. I'll tell you that much.
That is rule number one in the wrestling business. Because if you don't do it, it's a big sign of disrespect.
Yes.
Go to Japan and don't wipe your feet before you go in the ring. And that's your ass, Mr. Postman. Yeah,
it's Christmas. It's going to be lit up like a Christmas tree. Yep.
Yeah, you know. That is the biggest sign of disrespect that you can actually do to somebody in the ring is not wipe your feet before you come in.
But then from there on, and look, in training, I'll tell you this, like, we didn't take it easy on him. And I did not take it easy on him. And he would take his lumps, get banged up, fall down. But he got up, kept on saying, let's do it again. Of course, he's Bad Bunny. He's a megastar, so everybody wanted to be extra careful. And he would take a fall awkwardly, and everybody's like, oh, my God. And he would be like, no, let's do it again. Like he would back people up. Like, I'm fine. Let's do it again. Like he was all in and adamant about learning. I mean, he moved from Puerto Rico to Orlando to train for months.
Oh, wow.
Like, he took it serious. Like, he wasn't just like, there are celebrities who postpone things because they're doing their thing and when convenient. He wasn't about being convenient. He wanted to be committed because he didn't want to look stupid. Not for him, not for his fans, and not for our business. And that, I mean, how could you not respect that, right? And he was endeared by everybody because of that. I remember when Randy Orton went up to him in the back and like thanked him for treating our business with respect and putting in all the work and effort. And I was like, man, Randy Orton has never thanked me for anything, so that's cool. He doesn't even talk to me. That's a joke, but I just thought that was such a cool moment, like seeing that him have that moment with Randy Orton, who obviously Randy Orton's a big deal around that place. So I just thought that was cool, and I saw his humbleness to understand what that meant. Also, Randy Orton saying that to him, and he was very appreciative. And I don't know, it was just really cool, and that's why I was not surprised at his performance at WrestleMania. He put in the work.
Yeah, he did an excellent job, and that's the thing. You get people from the outside world that come into our world, and they make fun of it, and they won't do it to your face, but they like to play fight or act like whatever. To have somebody like Bad Bunny, a man of his caliber, to take it seriously, and like you said, the move to Orlando to train. You won't catch people from the outside world trying to come into our world to do that.
No, who does that? Exactly.
Much respect to Bad Bunny, and hopefully I'll get to meet him. Hopefully he'll come back and tag with you again. Maybe you guys will win the tag team titles.
That'll be cool. Maybe we'll steal a move from a certain team one day.
Listen, you have my blessing for you and Bad Bunny to do 3D.
Well, that's half the blessing.
Don't worry, that's all you need.
So does Damian have to get the tables then, or is that Bad Bunny's job?
No, that's Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's
Okay.
got to pay his dues. He's still got to pay his dues. He's very respectful, like you said, but he's still got to pay the dues. So go get the tables. I did it for 20 years, so
I think. Damn, somebody else needs to get you a table.
Look, it got to that point. I remember at the Hall of Fame, I missed my spot because we did it one last time when we put the producer through the table, and he hit me and said, Devon, and everybody was like, get the table, and I should have said, you get your own damn table. That would have popped everybody.
I would have.
I'm just sitting up there going, like, as he's saying it, you can have like a 50-minute conversation in your head in 3 seconds.
Yes.
And all that, I'm just going back and forth, say it, Devon, say it. And I was just like, just do it. Just tell him no. Because I didn't know how he was going to react either. So he was like, no, you're going to get that table for the last time. Get your ass over to get my table. And I was just like, no. Yeah, I was like, damn, I missed the opportunity to say that. I missed it.
Of course, just this morning, it was announced that one of your opponents at WrestleMania there, The Miz, is a part of Dancing with the Stars. When should we expect Damian Priest to be on that show?
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that works, but yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down. I mean, I'm always game for something intriguing, cool, different, something that selfishly is going to elevate me. Make more people know the name Damian Priest, so we can live forever.
Yeah,
so I'm always game for stuff like that. Now, and dancing, I'm Puerto Rican, man. I have no issue with that.
Fantastic. Well, Damian, we can't let you go, but I want to wish you the best of luck at Extreme Rules. I don't think I have to. I think you're going to be the man. I think you're going to go out there and do your thing, entertain, and be successful. I can't wait to see the match. Again, I looked forward to last week's, or I should say the week before, which was the 3-way, and you guys did a hell of a job then. I think you're going to do the same thing in Extreme Rules. But just remember, get the tables. Don't let them see you go out there and get it. Just be prepared.
Gotcha. That means the world to me coming from you. So thank you. I really do appreciate that.
Listen, I'll put a kendo stick, a garbage can, some thumbtacks, and some gasoline with a lighter underneath. So if you need to set that table on fire and put that bitch to it, you go ahead and do it.
That sounds fantastic. I might even take some stuff that's behind me and I'll slide it to you and you can put it in position for me.
Listen, I'll give you that. Hey, but just know I'm done. I ain't getting back in the ring because y'all hit too hard nowadays. Good God.
You're telling me, bro. Some heavy hitters too. Yeah.
I look at some of you guys, I'm like, good God, thank God I'm retired. I like this. I like that type of violence.
I'll be honest. You're saying that you're glad you're retired. I have some of these matches sometimes, and I'm like, I wonder how much longer before I have that. Because every time it's kind of like, I mean, it doesn't sound like that bad of an idea, especially when you're getting beat up by Sheamus.
Well, you've been in the Performance Center, and Terry Taylor has that theory. You're only allowed a certain amount of bumps in your career, so use them wisely. Don't use them all up, and that is so true.
Yeah, no, and Terry, that guy, he's giving me some good advice. Like he's tough, rough, but it's for a good reason. And that guy knows this business, huh?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Terry knows his stuff.
Yes,
I mean, you know, he could put your hair up in a rooster.
Oh yeah.
Have you come out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people frown on that gimmick, but I got to say that music was great, and the way he did it.
Oh yeah, I had that beat.
Yeah, it was great. It was really cool.
I remember. Yeah, that was good stuff.
Yep.
If people want to find you online, Damian, where can they do so?
At Archer of Infamy. And that's Twitter and Instagram. So more than welcome to follow me and, you know, put me over. No, honestly, I appreciate. It's crazy. Like the idea that I have fans, it's still wild to me, you know, and supporters. Like I'm appreciative of everything and I love it. But I can't do it without, you know, the following, without, you know, the support. So I always welcome it and I thank every single person that I meet for it because, you know, I need it.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, again, thank you so much for your time today. Good luck, continued luck with everything. And seriously, looking forward to the match at Extreme Rules. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This was a pleasure.
And the next time we have you on this show, we want to make sure that title's right in back of you, too.
Oh, it will be. Maybe I'll try to add another one.
Yeah,
there you go. There you go. We'll definitely get you back. Damian, thank you so much. I'll see you Monday in Boston.
Yes, sir.
My friend. All right.
Guys.
Bye.
Thanks, man. Good stuff right there.
Very good.
Nice.
Very good. He's good. Like I said, Damian is a good guy. I met him for the first time when I came back from my stroke, I believe.
Okay.
And because he was in NXT, I didn't know him in ROH. I was never there. Bubba was in ROH, but I wasn't. That was right after.
That's right. Yeah.
So I never met him until he came up from the main roster. I might have met him a couple of because there was sometimes where some of the talent from NXT would come up during a WrestleMania or even a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown whenever we were in Orlando. So I might have met him, but it was like probably briefly in passing. But
you're saying he's forgettable. You might have met him, but guy like him before the crazy shirts.
No, so you're just trying to get me another phone call.
Not nice.
At least I wait until afterwards, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when they come up, they're so respectful. Some of the people, and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" But you're doing your own thing at the time, so you can't really stop and talk.
Right.
So it's only until say they come up to the main roster, and they're there more frequently, and you have them in a match.
That makes sense.
If I produce them, so I get to know them a lot better, and I got to know Damian and this and that, and we got to talking about his days in ROH. He told me because he was there when Bubba was there. I had no idea, so he was telling me stories about that, things like that. A real cool guy, down to earth, and I think he's really going to be a huge hit.
Yeah, he seems very level-headed. Which stardom in any case can really affect somebody, even if it's a slight amount, if it's a large amount. So it's hard to keep grounded for a lot of people, and especially at some of the ages that these people have reached stardom. Like I can only imagine being one of these young stars that's 21, 22. We had Austin Theory on the show who gets this spotlight, and he's 22. It's like I can't even imagine having that stardom back then. I would have definitely screwed it up back then.
Well, the thing about it is, I said this because I thought it was actually true, and some of the veterans actually told me I was right in saying this. When you were like 19, between the ages of 19 and say 25, maybe even 27, you were that guy that got beat up all the time because you didn't have the knowledge that you should have at that point in time. And then between the ages of 30 and 40, you were a mid-card guy. You started winning matches and things like that. Then by the time you were 40, mid-40s, you were a main event guy. You had your knowledge. You knew what you were doing in there. You were comfortable. You knew how to help people. You knew how to tell a story and things like that. Nowadays, it's a young man's business. You got to be younger than 25 in order to get picked up or signed
to
somewhere.
hit the ground running. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the fans will bury you. Listen. 35 years old, people were saying, Devon, you're over the hill. You need to get out of the business. At 35, I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, when you got guys in there 50 years old, in this business, you can go for a long time. You can go to your 50s or 60s wrestling. man.
Sting in that other company, 60 years old, and now it's a part-time basis, but he is competing.
Wow.
He is wrestling.
Right.
So
And
yeah.
so that's the thing. And so I'm like, the fans don't really get it. But then somebody also pointed out, Devon, you've been on TV forever, you and Bubba, so they automatically think you're like 90 years old. So
you're
I
not.
was like, all right,
You're
fair
not.
enough. I look good, don't I?
I mean,
For a 90-year-old, you look great.
yeah.
Look, I actually dropped 50 pounds and feeling great. I'm going for another 20. So
Keep
Okay.
going.
Yeah.
like
Keep
I
going.
said, I'm not letting no stroke. I ain't letting no stroke stop me. And I love it too.
It'll make it easier for you to throw this on. You know.
I love that so much.
Devon teach. Oh, wait, what did that say? Teach you almost.
Also, made you wear tights in high school. Performed Shakespeare.
I don't remember that, Jossie. Go away.
To be or not to be a Dudley? That is the question.
Oh, those types.
Question from your good friend Byron. Are you
Hey,
working
Byron.
the house show in DC on Saturday? If so, lunch on you?
Well, it would be lunch on me because I believe you and Courtney got it last time, but unfortunately, I will not be there in DC. I'm gonna miss you. So, if you want to drive from DC to Boston, I'll be there.
Okay. All right.
We can definitely do it. At least for now, I'll be there. You just never know. Sometimes the schedule changes. You know. Sometimes you get put on the show, and the next thing you know, you get that email going, listen, we don't need you this week. We'll see you next week. Okay, not a problem.
Or when you have people from out of state visiting you, then WWE is like, we're going to need you at the Performance Center
Yeah.
a lot this week.
Yeah, that too.
Oh God, I felt so bad because it was like at the last
nonsense.
second. You guys were already en route to come to the house, and we were going to do the show. And then I got that email saying, we need you at the Performance Center to do this and that. I was like, oh shucks.
Mm-hmm.
When I went and told Taylor, I was like,
We didn't take it too personally.
I did. I was really hurt.
I know you
she
was.
It's fine. I just cried a lot. It's fine.
Yeah.
She did.
It's fine. Cried.
Nothing like walking around with Lindsay at Universal Studios and she's just bawling. People think it's from happiness, but it wasn't.
No.
It's the happiest place on earth.
But it was raining, so it was okay.
Yeah,
a lot of
it
people
just
didn't even
kinda
notice.
all blended in. Yeah, it's fine.
Something I had mentioned before Damian left us was The Miz being announced for the new season of Dancing with the Stars. And the last time we had one of these seasons, there was a bet betwixt you two.
Oh, that is correct.
Over
Well,
Carol
I'm
Baskin.
gonna say this. I have a little bit of a advantage here because I know Miz and I know what he's. Now I'm not gonna say I know him like I'm best friends with him, but being around him and working with him as a producer, you pretty much can pick up a lot of things. So I'm gonna say I think Miz is gonna do extremely well. His personality alone is gonna get him over on the show. There's no question about that.
No, but those judges though, those judges can be harsh though. They want the technique. They want the passion.
Yeah,
and I get that 100%. But I also feel that charisma and standing out, you know, which I know Miz can do. He does it on WWE TV, so that could somewhat influence the judges. It really can.
Yeah.
So how far? You said he'll go far, but how far does he win it all?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen him clown around and dance, but I've never really seen him dance. So I'm going to say he's going to do well because I know whatever Miz puts his mind to, he does it, and he does it very well. Let's just say he doesn't have it. Let's say he has two left feet. By the time this show comes around, he'll make sure that one is right and one is left. He'll make sure of that. So I don't know. I don't know about winning, and he could be surprised and take it all. You just never know. But I will say this, he'll get further than Carol Bass. I'll say that. So I'll make the bet.
So how many weeks?
Yeah.
She made it 3 weeks,
3
technically?
weeks.
I think
Three
so.
eliminations.
Yes.
And the bet was 4, wasn't it?
No, it was 4.
It was 4.
Yeah. That she had to survive 4 eliminations, only made it through 3,
So
but
close,
4
though.
weeks because one of them they didn't have any eliminations, if I
Yeah.
recall.
Right. Yep.
Lindsay, do you want to take that he'll last longer than 3 eliminations or no?
That he will last longer?
That the Miz will last longer than 3 eliminations.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Take
as in like that's what
as
he's
in-
saying.
oh,
So do
yeah.
you want to bet against it?
Oh, I do want to bet against it. That's what I thought you were saying.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Just in case, I'm going I'm going to buy the outfit just in case, put it in the closet,
Okay.
and let me see. In terms of you, well, we were talking about the chaps with the ass hanging out.
Okay. Listen, that is not even gonna happen.
I know. I just like to see. I like to see you get. I like to see you get flustered every time I say stupid stuff, and you're just like, no,
It's like all day, every day.
No.
Well, we got about
Constant
15
state.
minutes left in the program, so if you want to maybe take any listener viewer suggestions, Devon,
Sure.
or do you got something brewing in mind?
No, I got to think about it because I'm still hung up on the schoolgirl outfit. But she didn't really model it the way she should have. She should have stood up and modeled it. You did
What?
not. You
I
did
did
not.
what
Lindsay,
I
you
thought
did
was
not.
fine.
No. You got to stand up.
Mm.
You got to model it. You got to work that runway, girl.
That's not really me. I don't.
What
I know
a-
it's not you.
Work
That's
runways.
why it's the bet. That's why it's the bet.
Okay.
Same outfit, but she has to do a whole show and actually show it off this time, or still want to think about it?
No, I think I can go with that unless the fans come up with something.
Okay, Lindsay, would you agree to that?
Yeah. Maybe. I'll let you know by the end of the show.
Very emphatically, she.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this: you are 0-1 for Dancing with the Stars. If you become 0-2, you should never bet me on Dancing with the Stars again.
I feel like I've already made a mistake. I'm not gonna lie. I just just
Well,
But if she's right,
what it is.
then it's a whole new ball game.
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, I've never seen Miz like dance for real. I've seen him joking around and playing around in the back, but I've never really seen him. So I don't know if he can dance or. But again, they go over stuff over and over and over again. He might pick it up real quick. You never know.
Now, it's been a while. It was the only time I think I've ever watched the show. It was a long time ago, Lindsay, but there was another very charismatic wrestler in Chris Jericho that was on the show, and he was out very quickly. So,
Really? Okay.
yeah.
That gives me a little bit of hope. Okay.
You know it's right. Like, those ratings were huge. So you thought they would just keep him on for at least a couple more weeks because ratings, the wrestling audience will follow their people anywhere. And he
And
was
that's
gone with like second week or something.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not. It's not like a Carol Baskin. Like, I know. Like, this is like
Listen, I'm
it's
not
actually a chance. We don't.
I'm not a Carol Baskin hater. I'm not. I just thought that she just couldn't. There was no way she was going to last more than 3 eliminations. There was no way.
I was just like, come on, Carol, you got this.
Boy, she scared me though. I thought she was going to make it.
You were sweating. You were sweating. at the
I
end
was.
there.
I ain't gonna. I was like, damn, I have to wear that schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah.
And then
Very
I think I
funny.
had to break the news to both of you.
Yeah.
That she was eliminated. So you were ecstatic. You were nervous answering my phone call, Devon. And Lindsay, like, what? No,
What?
like very much in
You're
denial.
so mean. Don't say that.
It's not true. That didn't happen at all.
Joke around.
I gotta
Okay.
get RuPaul. If I do win, I have to get RuPaul on the show to say, "Come on, Lindsay, dance, girl."
I
Got
mean,
to work it, girl.
yeah. If
Of the
RuPaul
world.
was telling me
RuPaul
how
is-
to walk down the
Do
runway,
you
I would
have
do it.
connections to RuPaul to make this happen? Because that'd be
No,
kind of awesome.
no, I don't. That would be cool though to have him on the show,
Oh yeah.
especially if Lindsay loses and then she tries to walk the runway. I can see him now. Girl. Start it over.
And I would.
I know you would.
Whatever
That's
you
why it'd
say,
be great to have
RuPaul.
him. So if anybody out there has a connection with RuPaul, please tell them to get in touch with us.
I could probably, I know somebody that's close friends with a bunch of drag queens in LA. I could probably get a drag queen. I don't know if we can get RuPaul, but I could probably get a drag queen of some sort.
He might be very high maintenance to get him.
Yeah.
My dream of being a runway model might actually come true.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. My wife and I, Taylor, we've it's like the thing now. Like straight men go to these drag shows because they really are they're good shows.
Yeah.
And the drag queens, they put on great performances.
Mhm.
And so every once in a while, me and Taylor will go down there and watch it. And I'm just like, damn. I was like, it's hard to believe. Like the way they lip sync and everything, it's like they're right on point with everything. The dance moves, how they walk down the stage, everything. They're just like on point. And I was just like, we can get we can get a drag queen to come be on the show and tell Lindsay, girl, you ain't working it that way. You better walk it. You better walk that runway, girl.
I don't know. This sounds like this could be
I like fall.
a future stipulation for a future bet right there. That Lindsay wins, then Devon has to try his shot at drag work.
Yeah.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it. I would do it. It might get
Okay.
fun ratings, and I'm sure the dirt sheets will take snapshots of it and put it out there. Oh God.
Probably.
It's like every lately everything I say is recorded and Googled, and hey, Devon said this and Devon said that. But
if anybody wants a copy of this, let me know.
Oh God.
I do. Send one mind me.
But
Send it to me after the show.
I don't mind them. At first it used to bother me, but it don't bother me no more because I gotta look at it like this. I've been out of the ring for 4 years, and if they feel still relevant to say, hey, Devon said this, then okay, keep me relevant. Keep me going.
A suggestion from Brian. Lindsay loses. She must dye her hair hot pink, which actually she probably would be fine with if I had to guess. If Devon loses, he must come out of retirement.
I like this. I would. I would
it's
do
not,
that. I would do that.
It's not a choice if I can come out of retirement or not. It's one of those things is, will they allow me to come out of retirement? That's the thing, because every once in a while, I don't mind.
Shut up, Byron.
Shut up, Byron. It's just, I guess, and I can't blame, WWE. I mean, they would be a little cautious because of the stroke and things like that. I would, I'm not opposed to coming back to the ring. I remember when Flair took a break, and this was like 2002, 2003. He was just doing.
You have to woo when Ric Flair's mentioned.
Yeah, woo.
That's a rule, Lindsay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So I remember when because he was just doing the GM for a period of time, and all of that. And I remember when he get back in the ring with Evolution. I remember, talking with him. Rick was kind of like looking at himself as if to say, do I still have it? He was kind of doubting himself. And I remember we were putting something together between him and I, and he's like, yeah, Devon, help me out. Just talk to me. I was like, you're Ric Flair, man. I ain't got to tell you shit. I'm like, I'm going to do what you tell me to do in that ring. And if you don't tell me to do it, then I'm not doing it. But, I think I kind of got that type of thing because it's been 4.5, almost 5 years since I've been in the ring and actually doing it. So I don't know. If the doctors would let me come back, I would come back. I haven't tried to come back. I haven't gone to the doctor to see if I could get back in the ring and
Royal Rumble 2022.
I would hope so, but if that was the case, I would have the test results would have to come back where I'm cleared to do it, because it ain't like back in the day. WWE ain't just gonna put you in the ring anymore. They're gonna make sure that you're able to go out there and perform because they don't want anybody having a stroke or a heart attack. So I would have to jump through so many hurdles to come back. And
no, that's track and field. We want you back in the wrestling ring, Devon. You're so confused in your old age.
Listen, for 90 years old, can you blame me?
No. Your mind ain't not sharp. It's not sharp as it used to be.
Nope. I take that. What do you call that? That helps the brain.
Centrum Silver.
No, not Centrum. The other one.
I don't know.
He's like, I
need
weed.
It too.
That's what he's thinking.
I need it too.
Oh, weed. Yeah. I got the
gummies.
I got the gummies, which is always
weed
good.
Silver.
And that helps me to remember a lot of things, believe it or not.
Interesting.
I definitely need to try that.
And speaking of memory, let's see how Lindsay's short-term memory is. What do you do when Ric Flair's name is mentioned?
Woo!
All right, she remembered. All right.
I'm sorry. Ric Flair?
Woo!
Ooh.
Wait a minute. She said, ooh.
I said, woo. I don't know. I wooed the way I would woo. At least I kind of remembered.
Well, God bless. God bless Ric Flair.
Very much so. So wrap up today's show with a story from something I had to go through this past weekend at my job, where I work for GalaxyCon, which is like a Comic Con, a pop culture convention, an event service, and I help with a lot of their weekend activities, which could be a panel of different backgrounds. So this weekend we had a couple different ones, including Star Trek, which, by the way, happy Star Trek Day, everyone.
Happy Star
55
Trek
years
Day.
ago, the first Star Trek episode aired.
Oh, I've
Today?
seen a lot of like Star Trek pictures today. That's what it is.
Yep, that's
okay,
today.
I gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all making sense now.
So live long and get the tables, right? That's what they say.
Don't know.
I remember as a kid, when Spock would do that, we were like, "Oh, I need to know how to do that," and all the kids were like so excited. "Oh, I can do it! I can do it! I can do it!" It was a
thanks,
cool thing
Brian.
back then.
And Dylan, appreciate that. He used to do the Wizard World panels, and
Oh,
so for the most part, my time with Galaxy Con, I've been off screen. I'll just help make sure everything is working properly, to make sure the celebrities are comfortable, make sure our hosts know what they're doing, and then there's one-on-one chats afterwards. And this week we had the cast, a very attractive cast, men and female, of the Outpost, the CW show, one that I'm not familiar with,
yeah.
but it's run 3 or 4 seasons. And I then, because somebody called off and we were short-staffed, I helped run one of the live chat rooms, so people have the chance to pay to be able to talk one-on-one. They're not all like Table Talk where you can interact with us for free.
Mm-hmm.
No, you pay to be able to get 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, whatever you want with these celebrities. And since I've been working for a couple months now, there's always interesting individuals, the people that want to doll themselves up before they talk to their celebrity, or they know they have a long wait, so they don't get ready until closer to the time. And a lot of times that also means that they're not fully clothed.
Oh, dear.
So you'll do what's called tech checks. So you can go in and kind of have like a private chat with the fan before they get into the room with the celebrity, so to speak, the virtual room. And so there have been women that are topless. There are guys that are disheveled, not wearing shirts. Well, one guy, he was a nudist, and he has purchased a couple items over the last couple months, all with attractive females, mind you. A nudist. And it's like, fine. As long as we don't see anything,
I mean, like,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've warned him that, okay, this guy, you need to keep that camera down. All right. Or at least you gotta keep it up so it's not going down. Like chest up, It's like nothing worse than that. And I'll also tell you, just for your own imagination, he's a very hairy individual. All right. Just if you're trying to picture. Well, he spoke English very well, but he wasn't from America. So
neither is Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy, younger Ron Jeremy.
He's an actor?
No, well, I don't know what he does. He's a nudist. I don't know. He's a nudist. That's what he does.
That's my job is a nudist. Yeah. I mean,
so I don't know. Yeah, it is like the chat roulette days. Yeah. So we've had this guy before, but he'd always been fine. He'd always been cool. And of course, the one time I have to interact with him is the one time this changes.
He's naked.
He was excited.
So he's naked and he is leaning forward during the tech check like this. And I'm like, hey, I just got to remind you, keep the camera up. If you show anything, we'll give you a warning, but that's it. One warning and then you're done. Oh, yeah, no problem. I know what to do. All right. So it's his turn to talk to Jessica, was the star. Like a classic beauty. She's played Cleopatra on film, to give you an idea of what she looks like. So warm individual as well. Just a real sweetheart. And he starts the conversation like this. So needless to say, the camera's in the exact same spot where I okayed it.
Mm-hmm.
But now you actually start seeing all the stomach too. And just a little bit of waist, a little bit of hip starting to creep in there. But he's technically not showing anything. Okay. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Let's just move forward. Well, as the conversation starts going, the camera starts drifting down.
Oh, okay.
Like he's leaning back and his hands, because in the past we've even said we have to see your hands every few seconds because we want to make sure no extracurricular activity is going on.
Yeah.
So he's got his hands up so we can see him. He's like holding his like microphone. It's kind of like Devon's headset, but it's more like a phone one. So he's like holding up the cord.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it just starts like ticking down until eventually, boop, there it is. It's there. You see all of him, and then you see all of him. And so I'm not trying to interrupt this conversation. I just jump in and be like, hey, buddy, need you to move the camera up. Oh, yeah, sorry. So he starts jostling the camera and accidentally puts it back on just his junk. And then eventually gets back to chest up. So I'm like, one and done. That's your one warning.
Yep.
Continue on with the conversation. Once again, the camera starts tilting down. And I'm like, all right, guy, you're out of here. And at that point, he doesn't even stop trying to correct it. He goes ahead and his hand starts drifting down towards his junk. Boom. Kicked out of the room because I'm not going to horrify a celebrity like that. I now have his penis etched in my brain, and I don't want that. It's
Well, Mo, let me ask you a question. You know, were you doing this?
well, obviously. You got to see what the competition's
You're
like, right?
right.
I mean,
Right.
I'm just saying.
Did you get any ideas for like next time you're?
I'm just saying. Here's my own personal commentary. This is not reflective views of GalaxyCon. I'm very happy that he's comfortable as a nudist, because if I was working with what he was working with, I wouldn't be a nudist.
Sorry.
Take that however you will.
It's not funny. Let's laugh.
Oh, I took it, and
Yeah.
there's shit in my head right now.
Now imagine being
Wow.
stuck watching that. I had to live
Wow.
through that, and I'm like, that's
I
no.
mean, but like, does he not?
Well-
Does he not think he's gonna? Does he think he's gonna get away with it?
No,
Or does
I
he
think
it's
that's
not-
the thrill. I think for him,
Yeah.
I think it's the thrill of I'm naked talking to this hot chick, and he had done at least one or two
And now he's like she's
attractive
seen it.
celebrities before.
Are
She's
there
seen
any
it.
women that are like that? That you have to deal with to tell them to keep the camera up?
Very rarely does that happen. More like a woman's not ready yet, so she might be topless on camera. I'll be like, okay, you have about 20 minutes, and then it's your turn. We need you to put a shirt on, and they're
Can
cool.
you-
They don't.
Can you call me and put me on with you?
Do you want to like to be the person that makes sure that they're
Well, I'm not going to say anything. I just want to
Right.
make sure that everything is a-okay with
Yeah.
GalaxyCon. That's all.
He's just
Oh,
gonna go
okay.
in and just like
Yeah.
He's a
keep
nice
tabs
guy.
on
Help like
everybody,
those
just like-
blonde joggers that went by earlier.
he's just
He
here
just
to
wants
do good.
Now there's a brunette standing in front of the house.
Why are they in front of your house?
What's
Well, they're across the street talking to the neighbor, but from where I can see, you know how the upstairs is. See right across, and
We need to wrap this up so you can go back to staring intently.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Losing ya.
I'm doing that now.
Well, yeah, but you take a break every few seconds to look at us, which is very polite of you, but we know you don't want to.
Well,
Are we allowed to say who our next week guest is? Somebody will help you keep your eyes on the screen.
Absolutely. The one that I said was my favorite diva right now, which is Rhea Ripley. I can't wait. Have a conversation with her on Table Talk, and let's see if we can make Rhea just feel very happy at home on Table Talk. So Rhea
We're gonna
Ripley
try.
will
I
be
think
with
we can
us.
do that.
I think she and I can do that.
I think we can do that.
You,
There's no telling.
Hey, Rhea Ripley thinks I'm a nice guy. Don't go ruining it for me.
oh, and you're gonna let her be on the show?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I want her on the
Yeah.
show. I think she's great.
No, I agree. I want her on the show too. But if she thinks you're a nice guy, I don't know if she
I know
should
how to be
the
on my
show.
best behavior. Trust me. I know how to be on my best behavior.
because your wife is gonna be just off camera.
Mm-hmm.
What are you
Me
doing? Why are
money
you
you.
looking at it? What you better not be looking. Take your eyes. Go on Lindsay or Mo.
Start thinking about your questions and your comments for Rhea Ripley next week on Table Talk. Kids, a pleasure as always.
Yes.
Thanks.